again today with another video. The last time I was here, I talked about marriage, why we get married, and what motivates us to make a long-term commitment with each other. That video, it was cool, it was great, you know, whatever. Happy New Year to all of you guys. I hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve, a safe New Year's Eve. A couple years have been ridiculous. I did not do a vision board this year. I'm trying to loosen up a little bit, you know what I mean? Like right now, like I'm like, my hair's kind of done, but like kind of not. I'm trying to just be like, you know, a little more like go with the flow type of girl, okay? I didn't like completely plan out to a T what I'm gonna say today. As you can see by the title, today we're gonna talk about abstinence, purity culture, celibacy, and you know, we're gonna use Megan Good and Devin Franklin's marriage as like a conversation starter. Shortly after I put out my last video on marriage, I got online and I saw Megan Good announced that she was divorcing her husband of 9 years, Devin or Devon, I don't know his name is. I'm gonna say Devin because Devon is just too much work, honestly, for my lips and my teeth. They both announced their split. So when I looked further, I saw that he was the one that filed for divorce. And that kind of, I don't know, I was like, ooh, okay. Something that didn't sit right with me, but whatever. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who files. I mean, it was a mutual decision, I guess, but still, I don't know. The significance in Megan and Devin divorcing is the fact that 6 or 7 years ago, they put out a book about love, marriage, and abstinence called The Wait. It actually did really good in sales. Let's see. Is The Wait by Megan Good a New York Times bestseller? Yes, it is a New York Times bestseller. Like, what? Oh my God. I don't know if you guys have read that book. It honestly sounds like it was written by like a 7th grader. It's not about like grammar or anything. It's just about like the level of thought that it took to put that book out. The depth of the subject matter, it's just there is no depth. It has little to no outside references besides Bible scriptures. And I felt ripped off, to be honest, because I got the ebook and it cost me $11. They talked about their love story, how they met, their first couple dates, and how they knew that the other person was the one, and how they felt in that moment, and why they decided to not have sex. And that was cool and everything or whatever, but like what really struck me is they kept talking about the subject matter like they were breaking ground, like this is like breaking news. That in itself really bothered me because they posited the book as though abstinence and celibacy is not something that has been pushed for centuries. The thing is though, Megan Good was very much so a sex symbol in the early 2000s. Like she initially was a child star on the show Cousin Skeeter. She got older and she posited herself as a sex symbol. She was always a love interest. She was always the girl in the movie that the guy wanted to be with. But even outside of movies, the way that she dressed and the way that she presented herself was very alluring. When she married this guy, she completely rebranded into a Christian pastor's wife. And that's cool or whatever, girl, get it how you live it. After that, she kind of laid low a little bit. She wasn't acting as much. A major part of their relationship and a major part of their brand was the fact that they were very vocal about how they waited to have sex until they got married. They dated for maybe a year, I think. In the book, they were very adamant about like, we have a successful relationship and we completely owe that to the fact that we waited to have sex. So we have a successful career and it's because we waited to have sex, and you can have that too. And it's very problematic. It's nonsensical. I'm like, where's the proof? Where are the stats? Where are the numbers that say people who wait for marriage have better career? I don't really see the connection. But okay, let's define sexual abstinence. Planned Parenthood definition is this: for some people, abstinence means not doing any kind of sexual stuff with another person, including this, or this. For other people, abstinence only means not having this, but other sexual activities are allowed. Then it talks about like outer course. Some people consider outer course a part of abstinence. So outer course includes kissing, massage, this, using toys, this, and talking about your fantasies. What really bothered me about the book The Wait is that Devin and Megan present the information as though they are discovering some new way of life. Everything that they presented in that book is none other than the tenets of purity culture. Everything that the social purity movement of the 19th century is everything that movement espoused. Devin and Megan didn't read. Like, they're not even reading no books. They're not even books, but they put out a book. Whether or not to be sexually active before marriage has been a regular topic of conversation for centuries. Like I said, the social purity movement. Social was a euphemism for sexual. The movement first formed in opposition to the legalization and regulation of prostitution and quickly spread to other sex-related issues such as raising age of consent, sexually segregating prisons, opposing contraception, preventing white slavery. White slavery is the concept of forcing a white woman into prostitution, and censoring pornography. A major figure in the movement was a woman named Jane Ellis Hopkins. She was a huge advocate for moral purity. She's not the only person who was in this type of stuff. Like, that was just the way that people thought back in the day. We know that that thought process and that way of thinking has definitely been a part of the culture that we live here in America. When I was growing up, I was really active in church as a teenager, and I remember having to be a part of a program called True Love Waits. You're like vowing and promising that you're not gonna have sex until you get married. Okay, we're like freaking 15. Like, why were we making those types of promises, and who are we making them to? There have been federally funded abstinence only programs pushed in schools. It's not realistic. 95% of people end up not waiting until marriage to have sex. I did wait for marriage to have sex. Like, that was something that I ended up doing. I grew up in church, and that was always something that was taught to me. But I think a bigger reason why I ended up working out like that is because I am on the asexual spectrum, and it's something that I actually figured out this year. It takes me more than the average person to get like in the mood or whatever. With that being said, it was honestly easy for me to not participate in sex before marriage because of just the way I'm wired. With or without a abstinence program, I was not going to be the type of person who was going to be just jumping into bed with somebody. Like, that's just not the way that I am. We all have different baseline levels of like needs, like what our body needs and what it wants. And I just think like that's not even taken into consideration when people talk about abstinence. Me being a person who did wait until marriage, like, and I was taught my whole life, this is the way to go. This is what you should do to make your marriage be the best it could possibly be. Me being a person who actually did listen to that advice, and I did do it, and I have been married for 10 years, I'll be the first to tell you, wrong. In these conversations, when we talk about how to have the best marriage and what you should do, what you shouldn't do, I just feel like a lot of times we're asking the wrong questions. The question to ask is, do they respect you? Do they genuinely care about you? Do you feel like they know you and understand you? The statement that like making sure that you don't start the intimate part of the relationship before marriage, it's just irrelevant. It's what I'm trying to say. It's just irrelevant. It really is. Like, that's what made me want to make this video, is seeing that Megan did all the things like right, like that she was supposed to do, and 9 years later is still signing divorce papers. Like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I feel like there it is. The truth is right in front of you. There's a lot more important things that matter in your marriage. I have a list on why I have issues with abstinence teaching, and here they are. Teaching abstinence doesn't allow for the person to explore their own body and know what they like and what they want. I feel like that is so important. It's important for both people, specifically for women, because it's important for a woman to make sure that they know what physically pleases them. If you just put it in the other person's hands, you're probably not going to end up getting anything out of it, or very little, unless you know what you like. That was hard for me the first few years, not months, years, because like I said, I'm on the A spectrum, so it was hard for me to even get on the saddle. And then once I got on the saddle, I was like, how do I ride? Like, the number 2 issue I have with abstinence teaching is it implies that your body partially belongs to your future spouse. So this is something that is taught in religious circles, like especially in the book The Wait. They taught a lot about, like, you know, saving your body for your partner and saving your that special gift for your partner. Like, what? That is so weird to me. So objectifying and dehumanizing. I am not a prize. This is such a
an amazing gift you can give.
It's like disgusting. Like, ew, what are you talking about? Okay, 3rd issue is abstinence teaching oftentimes comes with guilt, shame, and it can be detrimental to your relationship with yourself and your partner. So, you know, my husband just texted me. Okay, you are more likely to make a mistake. You are more likely to go farther than you maybe thought you would go. If you cross the line or you do too much or whatever, you're gonna feel guilt and shame. And I remember feeling that way too. Like, we were religious, we were in religious circles, and like there's certain especially I went to a Christian college, you guys, so especially there, like there's certain touch that's just like, you know, so forbidden and so don't do that. And so like I know, like when me and my husband, like at the time he was my boyfriend, like when we went too far, like there was guilt between us, guilt and shame. And for what? Like, oh my gosh, like that is something that I am so against, using guilt and shame to force people to do stuff. If it's not something that's in my heart to do, I shouldn't be doing it. It's not real. Like it's not real unless it's something that I'm doing because I really want to do it. I should be doing it because I really want to do it, or I should not be doing it because I really don't want to do it, not because I'm being shamed into it. Okay, the fourth issue I have with abstinence is it focuses on what not to do and not what to do. If you feel like you're ready to be sexually active, there are certain things that you should do to prepare for that, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I feel like abstinence, there's no part in that teaching that tells you what to do to get ready to start having sex. Like I remember like on my sex night, we were not prepared. We didn't know what to do. Purity culture, it teaches you like don't engage in anything sexual. Okay, so like on my wedding night, like we're like, where does this go? It was a disaster. Like I can't even like freaking, oh my gosh, like nightmare. It was honestly not a wedding night. It was like a wedding month because it took us a month. The people who were giving me advice, they were telling me what I shouldn't be doing, and they weren't telling me how to prepare for what I was about to do. The fifth reason is abstinence programs and like what they teach. Their entire premise is that withholding touch is a good thing. It's like touch that you consent to, touch that you want, touch from someone who you trust. It's amazing. Babies, for example, have to be held and touched when they're first born. Babies who are not held will not live. Long as you want it, long as you consent to it, and the person respects you and cares about you, girl, you better let him touch you. Listen, this is not an advice video. It's just me and my personal experience because like I said, I've been married for 10 years. I've done it. I did the abstinence thing. Things could have been improved like in my marriage had I done some things differently. The last one, okay, last reason, it does not allow for the possibility of a messy and a beautiful first time. And that's, you know, like on TV when you see like romance movies and you see like people like for the first time like being intimate for the first time, getting together, like they like fall into bed, they like run into the, you know, they come to the apartment, they're knocking over lamps and paintings, and it's exciting and it looks like so fun and it looks like they're so into it. And like planning out your first time, it's just not the same thing, because I am a romantic, as it turns out. Honestly, I needed a romantic first time and I didn't get that. They were telling me that I needed to do things right, morally right. I needed to do things by this book. But what about me? What about my personal needs? We only have a few years on this earth. You just never know what's gonna happen. I have had periods where I was not active. We were not active. My husband has a chronic like disability thing that he has to deal with. He would have surgery and like, you know, he would be, you know, we wouldn't be able to be together. I've had 2 kids. After you have babies, you're not allowed to do it for weeks, and then like even after that, like it sometimes is uncomfortable or you're too tired. So I just think that abstinence programs does not take into consent, honestly, how lucky 2 people are to find each other and to feel comfortable together, to even want to do it. And I say to myself, like, I'm so grateful, and I'm so grateful that I found someone early. I was 19, and like I'm really thankful like that I found someone that I connect with, cares for me, and who loves me, and that I'm really attracted to, because that's another thing. Being attracted to someone is a gift. Abstinence teaching, purity culture, all of that stuff does not teach and does not, I have a makeup brush, I don't even freaking, social purity teachings and all of that type of stuff doesn't acknowledge the beauty and the gift of attraction. Anyways, my battery's dying. I'm not nobody's mama. I mean, I am somebody's mama, but I'm not y'all's mama. So I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just telling you my personal experience with it. I have to go. I hope you guys have a great new year, and thank you guys for everyone who watches my video and interacts with my stuff and leaves me comments. Like, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Hope you guys like my video, and if you like it, leave me a like, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.